Hello, 7th and 8th graders and advisors. Welcome to the month of April. Here is the PLP work. So advisors, please scroll down on the PLP curriculum page to the correct grade level. And when you're there, you will see next to the month of April that this month we will be updating our PLPs. So this month is really meant to catch up on any work that we may have missed throughout the year. And you can go ahead and click on this checklist. And students will use this checklist with the help of their advisor to go through each section and make sure that each section contains these elements. So students will look at their personal profile section and make sure that they have their name and a picture representing themselves, and that they have a written introduction, a few sentences to up to a couple of paragraphs. Could get really creative and put some neat pictures in there of art pieces that you may have done, or music that you've created, or even a video. Additionally, you can put in other elements that we've done, so your core values activity or your identity map. Those elements can go right into that personal profile section. Once you've done that, you'll go on to your yearly goals and make sure that you have set a short-term and a long-term goal. And the most important part right now is to go in and write a short reflection, or at least an update of where you're at with that goal. So the idea is every year you'll make a short-term and a long-term goal, and then you'll reflect on that, and then you'll be able to look back at that and see your growth over time. Then you'll move on to the learner profile section, and here you're going to answer questions about how you learn best and record that. And this will change over time, but for right now, let's write down what you do well, and you could share this with your teachers next year to kind of give the teachers a little snapshot of who you are and how you learn. All right, moving on, go ahead and update your personalized learning or work experience if you have any. Maybe you've babysat this year, or maybe you work at a farm doing chores. You can put those things in there. Maybe you did an elective that was really super fun and you learned a lot, and you want to put that in there. If you did any sports or any of the musicals, or maybe you volunteered outside of school, any of those activities can be listed in this personalized learning work experiences and extracurricular section. And then finally, there is the transferable skills portfolio. So for 7th graders, the goal this year is to have you add one solid piece of evidence per transferable skill. So that would mean that you would have 4 pieces of evidence: one for personal development, one for community connection, one for innovative thinking, and a final one for effective communication. So 7th graders, if you get that completed, then you're in great shape. If you're an 8th grader, let's click over here to the 8th grade list. There is a little bit more because you have been in school for a year longer. And what we're looking for here is for you to have 2 pieces of evidence per transferable skill. So if you want to put more, you certainly can, but at a minimum, there should be 2 pieces of evidence per transferable skill. Now, some of the activities that we've done this year that you could add in are the Who's on Your Team activity, because that was a community connection activity. That's a great piece of evidence for that transferable skill. Any of the evidence that you have done in your classes. So maybe you wrote a paper and you want to put that in under effective communication, or you did a presentation and you want to put that under effective communication. Maybe you built a really cool cutting board and you want to add that in under innovative thinking. And then maybe you really learned a lot about yourself in one of your classes, and you wrote something up or made a collage, and you want to put that in as evidence for personal development. So anything that you did outside of school as well can be evidence for these transferable skills. So if you did some community service or you volunteered someplace, then that can go under community connection. If you tore apart a car with a relative of yours and put it back together, well, you learned some problem solving. So you could write up a little blurb or paragraph about that and even put some pictures in there, and that can be evidence towards innovative thinking. So those are some ideas. And eighth graders, again, please put in 2 pieces of evidence per transferable skill. Now, in the month of May and June, the idea is that 7th graders would go through their PLP with their advisory. So they could do that by pairing up with another advisee, or you could do this as a group, but the idea is to share your PLP to date with your advisory. And this is to prepare you for what you will do in 8th grade. So 8th graders, you are at the end of a grade band. So you can see here, you're at the end of this medial grade band. So it's a good time to see where are you at with showing evidence for your transferable skills. So in the month of May and June, we're going to have you informally present your PLP to your advisory. And again, your advisory will determine whether or not that's going to be as a larger group or a smaller group, and it will be flexible and informal, but the idea is to share out your fantastic work. So that is the PLP work for the month. Have a great April, and we'll see you next month.